Welcome back to this awesome review that I have for this awesome program called Piano Marvel. And I would like to talk about three things within the program. We've already covered method, we've already covered techniques. Now we're going to go to the library today, and you'll see on the screen here the library section. And then we're going to talk about slicing within the library. And it's a method that allows either parent or teacher to identify with taking smaller sections of a song, just exactly how most teachers teach, to take smaller sections for the student to be able to digest the information. Now let's go ahead and go into the song selection. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about the slicing. All right, so I'm selecting the song 7902, Hilton Place. Now, if you look closely, you will see 3 stars on the bottom of that selection. It says minced, and I'm going to start from the smallest or the shortest of explanations here. Minced, chopped, and whole. What this program does, it allows you to take a section of a song, and I'm going to go on to the mince. If you look over here, it says the choice of slicing. So I can choose my slicing of which selection of the song I want to do. So I'm going to start with minced. If you notice, in minced, it has number 1, the song Hilton Place, measures 1 through 4, right hand only. So I like that because it allows the student to actually just focus on one section of the song in a very fine focus here. So here's the right hand. Then the second part is number 2 is the Hilton Place, measures 1 through 4, left hand. So you see RH right hand, LH left hand. And if you slide, if you go follow my marker here, you will see the beats per minute. And what's so neat about that is that you can create each section in slow time signature. So, or should I say a slower beat or slower tempo for the students. So we start off reading at a slow tempo at 50 beats per minute, at 75 beats per minute, or at 98 beats per minute. So we have these 3 beats per minute on each one of the sections of the mince. So what happens as the child starts off at a slow pace, or the student starts off at a slow pace, then they will pick up in repetition with another speed, and then they will pick up another reading speed. So it's wonderful because it's building repetition in our actions, and it solidifies and it actually goes into our muscle memory with our reading. So if you look down even further, then they take on number 3, Hilton Place, measures 1 through 4, both hands together. So it's really neat. I love it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and show you and go into that particular slicing. So I'm going to start with slicing with my right hand in the minced, choosing, and I'm going to go ahead and click the song. Now what's really neat, I am seeing just those 4 measures. 1, 2, 3, 4 measures, and I'm just going to focus in on that particular section. Now let's go ahead, and I'm going to go ahead and start the program. You remember how we did on our first viewing? We just click either the button down here on the bottom where is the play button, or you can hit the space bar on the keyboard. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start playing Hilton Place. And if you notice, we will try to, and I will definitely try to get a high score of 100. And it places both the score that I get up here in our uh, area of our trophy. So let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and press the play button.
1, 2, 3, go.
Wow. Okay, I got a 100 for that score. And so what it did, if you notice, it was at a slow tempo, and it allowed me to correctly play that. All right. If, say, for instance, I want to control the speed and say, oh, okay, I know how to read this, so I want to make it go a little faster. You can, at the bottom of this program, you will click the play controls, and I click that, and it says tempo 50. So that's the default tempo. Again, I can either make that go faster. I can keep it at the default, or I can just take it even a little bit higher with the default of the second speed and make it go faster. So there's endless ways to do this particular program as far as the tempo settings. So I'm going to go ahead and reset my default. When you reset the default, it just goes back to the 50. If you go lower than the default, it will show your reading here, but it will not give you a score. So just remember that if you go lower than the reset default, it will not score you. All right, let's move on to the next section of my slicing. So again, we're in minced. This is the next speed. It's still the right hand, 1 through 4 measures, and it's a little bit faster. So here we go. I'm going to go ahead and make sure that that is armed and we're ready to go.
1, 2, 3, go.
So if you notice, that was a little bit faster, okay? Now, I'm going to go ahead and move on to the fastest speed, and that's the third speed that they had. And I'm going to purposely, again, make a mistake on this one, okay? And then you're going to see, I can explain to you what you will explain to your students or parents if you're showing your child and you're trying to make sure that they're playing correct notes. I'm going to show you exactly what's going on, what you can do with that. Okay, here we go again.
1, 2, 3, go.
Okay, so if you notice, I really had some bad readings here. And that's okay because that's how learning is processed. You learn from your mistakes, okay? So if you notice, I have some red dots here. I played wrong, incorrect notes. I didn't even play the correct note here. I clicked some correct notes there. So it will give me a reading of 73 on my score, okay? So what you would do as an instructor, you can, tell your students, okay, now watch your intervals. Make sure you're reading your notations, and then also watch your timing. All right, so I'm going to go ahead, and if the student doesn't know what note that particular note is, remember we can hover over a note and click on that with a little finger click there, and that is actually middle C. Okay, you can show them exactly what on what a keyboard, how it would look. All right. Okay, so let's go ahead, and I want to make a 100% this time. Okay.
1, 2, 3, go.
Okay, there's my 100%. Very good. So now, so if you notice the slicing, and I'm going to go back to my dashboard, the slicing choices is awesome because it allows the students, and if you look over here, I finished all 3 of my speeds, and it gives me my gold star, my gold star. And so then I go on to the left hand. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do just at least the first section of the left hand, so that way you can see exactly what's going on. So if as a teacher, you don't have to start right off by having the space bar or the play button clicked. You can talk through the piece as you see it and allow the students to see, okay, what is this then? What symbol is this? You can explain that. Oh, this is a sharp. Okay. Now, right beside the sharp, we have another symbol here, which is a natural. So you can explain all this before you have the student press the space bar or the button down there. So actually, I'm going to go ahead and play through that. And as I play through it, okay, I'm going to go ahead. I usually do that with all my students, have them play it first. Okay, let's go ahead and play.
1, 2, 3,
And this is the
go.
slow speed. Okay, so if you notice, it just takes little bites at a time. And I love this. This is exactly how I teach anyway, even if we're using a book mode or a book method. Because students can retain and regurgitate, should I say, a smaller section and be able to see patterns and be able to put it in their muscle memory. I like it because, and I always share with my students, if I gave them a big steak and put it on their plate, and I said, okay, now go ahead and eat it, shove it down your throat, go ahead, eat it, eat it. I think they wouldn't be able to digest that in that manner. I always tell them to take little bites, savor it, get it into your, chew it up a little bit, okay? So then that way they will be able to take on and the whole thought of that particular piece. All right, so let's go ahead. Now we've talked about slicing minced. I'm going to just show you going over here to my dashboard. Then it says chopped. This, I would say, if the student is a pretty good reader, I would say, and they're pretty good and proficient at sight reading with both hands at the same time, I would say, okay, let's go to chopped instead of going to the mince section, because it's just like a little baby. You wouldn't give a baby a steak. You would give them the pureed formula. With a I would say about a 10-year-old or an 8-year-old, they will be able to eat some fries and some nuggets. So we will give them the chopped version, okay? So chopped version would mean, if you go over here on the dashboard, on the platform here, number 1 says Hilton Place measures 1 through 4, and that means both hands together. You notice it's not right hand or left hand, it's both hands together. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to show you I'm going to go to the medium speed, okay? And you can click on whichever speed you would like, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and play that with it. I'm going to hit my play button.
1, 2, set, go.
Okay, if you notice, I got a couple of notes wrong there. I hit the wrong notes. All right. So what do? We can just do it again, which is great. This program, you can repeat your sections over and over again. Just go right ahead and practice over and over. Here we
1,
go.
2, set, go.
Okay, I got my 100. Okay, now let's go back to our dashboard. And if you notice, there's my star. And then, for the student that would like to continue getting all their 100s, go ahead and have that. Again, with the chop, you go on to measures 5 through 8. Then on and on, measures 9 through 12. And this is with both hands. And then if you notice, it does allow the section to be completed all the way down to 10, where you're playing the whole song in its entirety. So then with the slicing, here's the whole. If you notice, in the whole is the right hand, the complete whole song. And then with the left hand, you have the complete song. Then number 3 would be the whole song with both hands, okay? So if you notice, I actually played the right hand with the whole song, and then I will eventually complete the rest of the song. All right, so let's go out of the dashboard, and that actually ends this section of the Piano Marvel review. So we reviewed the library, which is a phenomenal place where we can place thousands of songs for repertoire for your student or for your child. Also, we talked a little bit about the slicing, which you can choose whichever method you would like to practice, whether it's the minced, which is the very fine in the reading process, chopped, which is the next level up where you're playing with both hands, and also you can also have the whole, where you can actually play the whole selection. So, and then we also finalized with reading the reports, and where we can send these reports to the parents. I hope you received a lot of information. I'm sure you did here, and I hope it's a great viewing for yourself, that this is a good platform for you to advance in a wonderful online web-based technology, to staying up with the 21st century student. I'm going to end it here. If you have any questions, please place them on our page there on the bottom. If you I would love for you to give me some thumbs up, and also subscribe to our channel here, and share it with someone else, and allow them to see how great this program is. Again, thank you for listening to the review of Piano Marvel.